Is Andy Lee currently the best boxing coach in the world? So as I'm speaking to you right now, is Andy Lee the guy? Is he the main man in boxing? Do you know what I mean? So if you got problems, if you're a fighter, you've got problems, you're on a losing streak, you want to change your fortunes around. Do you know what I mean? You want to get a win. Who's that coach that you pick up the phone to call? Like who? Who is it? I think it's Andy Lee right now, man. Do you know what I mean? I think it's Andy Lee right now. I've been watching Andy Lee in the last few years, especially since he started working with Joseph Parker. Do you know what I mean? The guy's been able to change the fortunes of fighters. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, especially Joseph Parker. Especially Joseph Parker. But you've noticed that in the last few weeks, a couple more fighters, established names, have joined Andy Lee's stable. Ben Whittaker, who just won this past weekend, Easter Sunday, TKO win over Liam Cameron. Do you know what I mean? The first fight with Liam Cameron, I think it was under a different coach. I'm not too sure who he was under. I'll find out. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you know better than I do. But for this rematch against Liam Cameron, this past Sunday where he just won via TKO, Ben Whittaker linked up with Andy Lee. And instantly, I don't know how long they worked with together. It must have been just weeks or a couple of months. But the bond, you can feel the bond. The bond was there, man. The chemistry was there. Do you know what I mean? And you know when I know a fighter is listening to a coach, taking instructions, and a fighter has respect for a coach? Like, if you look back on Sunday, yeah, when Ben Whittaker got the TKO win, he went over to the corner of Liam Cameron's corner and he was shouting at the coach. Do you know what I mean? When he walked away, it was actually Andy Lee who told Ben Whittaker, no, you have to go back. First of all, he calmed him down. Calmed him down. Your son, calm down. Listen, you got a great win, but this is not how we behave. This is not how my fighters behave. And he told Ben Whittaker, go and apologize. And you know what? Ben Whittaker did exactly that. He went back over to the corner, apologized, then they hugged it out. See, that's when you know a coach has the respect of the fighters. Do you know what I mean? And I like that about Andy Lee. Every time I hear about Andy Lee in interviews or other people that know him, they speak very highly of him in terms of his integrity, his character as a man, as a person. Do you know what I mean? And how he operates the whole coaching, the whole gym and everything like that. It's all based on respect, honor, discipline, staying humble, hard work, dedication. Do you know what I mean? All those values needed to create and build champions, man. That's what Andy Lee is all about. Do you know what I mean? And I see it because I see him when he's working with Joseph Parker. And Joseph Parker is a humble dude. Joseph Parker is a disciplined guy. A hard-working guy, man. You don't see Joseph Parker being outspoken, outlandish, disrespectful, going at people for no reason. That's what Andy Lee has at his stable. And Ben Whittaker joining that, look at the impact he's had on Ben Whittaker, man. And even at the interviews, man, you can tell the way Ben Whittaker was speaking highly of Andy Lee. Like, they've got that bond, man. They've got that bond. And I feel like that's so necessary when it comes to coach-fighter relationship. Do you know what I mean? That is vital. You need to develop that rapport. You need to build a relationship. You need to earn that respect of the fighter. Obviously, the fighter is going to earn your respect as a coach, but you as a coach also, you have to prove to the fighter that, do you know what I mean, you're deserving of that respect. And how do you earn it? The way you as a coach, you conduct yourself. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Andy Lee, he commands that respect. He commands that respect. His whole aura, the way he behaves, the way he carries himself in the media, even in private, for what I'm hearing, in the gym and everything like that, you're just going to have to respect him. Do you know what I mean? Some people think being a great coach is all about being good at pads, you know, like the best pad man and all that. People watch Roger Mayweather, padding Floyd Mayweather, think, yo, that's a great coach. Yeah, obviously padding a fighter being good at the pads as a coach, obviously you need to have that element. You need to have that skill also. But do you know what I mean? But there's no point just padding pointlessly. Do you know what I mean? You have to pad with a fight in mind. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a reason behind the padding, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Why are you just throwing a right hand and then a hook after that? You have to explain all these little details to the fighter. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Andy Lee does all that. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the technical side of boxing. Do you know what I mean? In terms of being a mentor, a father figure, a big brother, he has all of that. Even though he's only 40 years old. But I feel like his experience in boxing, obviously being a former middleweight champion of the world, the WBO champion, helps a lot because then you understand what it takes to become a champion. And Ben Whittaker linking up with him, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense. He's gonna help Ben Whittaker go to that next level because he's gonna give Ben Whittaker the discipline. And you can see in that fight, Ben Whittaker had the discipline. He wasn't showboating as much as he did in the last fight or previous fight before that. Do you know what I mean? But guess what? Another fighter has joined Andy Lee. Hamza Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz has also joined Andy Lee. What happened to Hamza Shiraz, his last fight against Adames? Didn't perform too well. He looked lost in that ring, man. Do you know what I mean? For me personally, Carlos Adames won that fight. He won that fight. Do you know what I mean? Shiraz got that draw because he was in Saudi. Riyadh season, that's their boy. Now that's their golden goose. That's who they're trying to build up. Hamza Shiraz. You know what I mean? Turkey's trying to build him up, so they gave him a draw. But I know he lost that fight. Hamza Shiraz struggling. He's moved up to super middleweight. He was a what? Middleweight 160s. Moved up to super middleweight. He's linked up with Andy Lee. And I've watched some of his interview and he's speaking highly of Andy Lee. Do you know what I mean? So Andy Lee has now become this doctor figure. Like, you got a problem? Go to the doctor. Andy Lee. He'll fix you up. Do you know what I mean? Whatever medical problems you have, listen, go to Dr. Andy Lee. He's the doctor in boxing right now. He's fixing medical issues right now. He's fixing everyone. Do you know what I mean? He's got the what do you call it? He's got all the remedies to all your medical issues, man. He's got the solutions. Do you know what I mean? So Hamza Shiraz is gonna benefit heavily being in the same stable as Joseph Parker, Ben Whittaker. Do you know what I mean? That's gonna elevate him to that next level. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, all these fighters that are having slight problems, do you know what I mean? Losing streaks, they're recognizing the talent of the coaching talent of Andy Lee and they're gravitating towards him. Do you know what I mean? There's something in that Andy Lee gym in this stable. There's something in the water there that is making these fighters go there. And these are big names. Hamza Shiraz is a big name. Ben Whittaker, big name. These guys are young and they've got great potential, great talented fighters. Imagine if they're guided right. Correct training, right discipline. Do you know what I mean? The mentorship from Andy Lee. I'm not just talking about the technical side of boxing. Now I'm just talking about the whole package that Andy Lee brings. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine Hamza Shiraz in his next fight? I can't wait to see that. Do you know what I mean? Once him and Andy Lee are locked in, they train and all that, man, I want to see that performance. I guarantee you now, the next fight from Hamza Shiraz is going to be well improved. Well improved. Do you know what I mean? I don't even want to talk about Joseph Parker. Look at Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker teamed up with Andy Lee after the Joe Joyce defeat. I believe. Do you know what I mean? If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments because I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel are very clued on to your boxing. Let me know in the comments. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Joseph Parker linked up with Andy Lee after the Joe Joyce defeat. Look at Joseph Parker since then. Look at the improvement of Joseph Parker. So Andy Lee is not just good at the technical side of coaching. Do you know what I mean? The analysis side. I know there's a lot of coaches out there that are known for their analytical skills, their technical skills, and looking at every small details. I feel like Andy Lee is more than just that, like I said. Do you know what I mean? He's able to get to you mentally. Do you know what I mean? He's able to give a fighter that belief that they need to go on and execute a game plan. Do you know what I mean? Because you can work all you want in the gym. You can do all the drills, everything, calling the best sparring partners in the world and look great. But if you can't execute the game plan in a fight, it's pointless, man. Do you know what I mean? If the coach can't get through to you, can't get the instructions through to you for you to execute, it's pointless. It's not going to work. The fighter-coach dynamic is just not going to work. But Andy Lee's doing something right because he is working at the moment. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, currently, right now, to me, he's probably the best boxing coach in the world. And also, don't forget, man, Andy Lee, he worked with Sugar Hill for the Tyson Fury and Wilder fights, man. Do you know what I mean? So he's got that crank style. He's on the front foot. Front foot. Look at Joseph Parker now. Joseph Parker was on the front foot, man. When Joseph Parker fought Deontay Wilder, what did Joseph Parker do? He didn't retreat. He went for Wilder, man. He went for Bakole. Joseph Parker is going for these guys now. There's no fear. That's all Andy Lee, man. It's all Andy Lee. Andy Lee gets into your fighter's head and he gives you that confidence. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's what I just wanted to talk to you about in this video, man. Let me know if you agree. You might have another coach, boxing coach in mind. You might be thinking, yo, Enzo, what are you talking about, man? Andy Lee and the best coach, boxing coach in the world. What about so-and-so, him and him? I don't really want to name fighters. I don't want to name too many names like of other coaches. I know, I respect every coach. I know there's some top coaches out there in Europe and in America as well. Do you know what I mean? So I don't, not disrespect, but I just feel like Andy Lee right now, he's that guy. If you don't agree with me, if you disagree, maybe you got a coach in mind that you believe that deserves a mention, you know, deserves to be right there at the top, who maybe you feel like is not getting the recognition, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. But for me right now, Andy Lee, he's the best coach, man, in boxing right now, man. Do you know what I mean? He's the main guy. He's the guy to go to. If you're having problems, you want to turn your fortunes around, you want to start winning, you're on a losing streak, you want to start winning, go to Andy Lee. Go to Andy Lee. Listen, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know in the comments, like I said, man. Do you know what I mean? Drop down some names of boxing coaches that you believe are the best in the world right now. Some people might think it's Ben Davison. You know what I mean? His stock is kind of gone down, innit? Since Joshua got knocked against Dubois and some of the instructions that Ben Davison was giving to Joshua. Obviously, before that, Ben Davison was the main guy. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, yo, Ben Davison is young as well. He's only, what, 20, 28, 29, however. Ben Davison is, I don't know, he's even 30 yet. Everyone was raving up about him, but his kind of stock is gone down. It's kind of like no one's talking about it. Do you know what I mean? But Ben Davison is worth a shout as well. But for me, Andy Lee all the way. Let me know in the comments, my guys. Let's talk about it, my people. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. Please don't forget, smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because that's how you're going to help the channel to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.